Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it. Ba, 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 ba. You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, yes, indeed, it be cracking off in the chow hall one time for your mentality. In a menudo style of direct fashion, I'm going to get into a few stories, a few war stories, a few things that could happen in the chow hall if you find yourself there. Hopefully, you never find yourself in that chow hall eating that grubby ass fucking food that they serve. But at the same time, in the meantime, and in between time, at the end of the day, man, if you do find yourself in certain situations, just stand your ground, Holmes. 10 toes down. You already know what it is, man. It be going down in the motherfucking chow hall. Yes, indeed. I write graffiti on the bus. So trip out. A couple stories I got to tell, man, is I remember the first time that it ever went down in the chow hall, and I was right there, was in Tracy. DVI, it was in 2006. And we were just coming off a lockdown situation, man. We were on lockdowns with the Woods. It was the Norteños in the Woods that were on lockdown for quite an extensive amount of time, man. Prior to me getting there, I guess the homeboys had got off on the Woods, on the white boys. And one particular faction of the Woods being the Wolf Pack, which is a small faction of Woods, man. They got their own little clique, their own little gaggle, whatever you would want to call them. But they're called the Wolf Pack, and the homeboys had something against them, and they were getting off. Now, at that time, there was a body that was caught, and so they went on lockdown for a long period of time. So as I get there, we were just coming off lockdown, and I mean just recently coming off lockdown. They had probably hit the Yadla one time prior to me getting there, so I got there just in the nick of motherfucking time. Bang, bang. Wasn't going to be a lockdown situation, at least not yet. And we actually went to the chow hall, and I remember that it was dinner time. You know, it was actually dinner time when we were at the chow hall, and we were eating. Okay, we were eating chow, and it kicked off. Okay, it kicked off, but it didn't particularly kick off between the Norteños and the whites. It actually kicked off this time between the whites and the whites. Oh, yes, it did, indeed. I guess they were doing some type of cleanup, and they decided that for no other reason they should do it in the chow hall, because this was the only action they were going to get at this individual, and I guess it couldn't wait till yard time, right? So it went down. Now, prior to this, I had never seen anything really kick off in a chow hall. Now, I'd seen things kick off on the way to the chow hall, in the hallways, because anyone that's ever been to Tracy, they're long corridors, man. You have to hit certain spots. If you're on the block, man, you're walking down this corridor with your hands behind your back, and there's placas all on the side, and they're watching every little movement you make, right? So it's hard to pass things, but things are happening, man. I'm not going to go into the details of what exactly is going on, but let's just say Sasuke shit is going downtown. You already know what it is. In a menudo style, people are making moves, you know, in shower shoes. But anyways, it's happening. So anyways, I had never until this time seen anything pop off in the chow. Usually vatos are eating, you're sitting down, you're enjoying whatever raggedy ass food they serve that day, and you're just trying to do your thing. You know, of course, your awareness is up. You're looking around you, man, because anything can pop off at any time. Again, this is the penitentiary. This is prison. And of course, Tracy being a reception, man, shit goes down at reception. Vatos run into their old cellmates that they didn't like because the Vato farted one night and it smelled way bad. And he has some type of animosity towards them that ended his relationship on the calles. And he has post-traumatic syndrome, and everything is blamed on that one incident. And then, of course, you also have gentlemen, man, that don't like people, and they actually don't like them because they got paperwork on them. They were an old crime partner that told on them once upon a time, and now's their chance to get their get-backs. Bang, bang. So it'd be like that. But anyways, so what happened this particular day is everybody was sitting. I was with the homeboy from Oakland. A homeboy from Oakland, there was a homeboy from Hayward, and of course it was one of my carnales from Merced. And we're posted up, and we're just enjoying our fucking little bow-legged ass chicken they gave us that day. And all of a sudden it cracked. Now when it cracked off, we all jumped up because we didn't know if the Norteños were involved. And of course, one jump, all jump. If the gente is going to get into it, Sasuke, we're going to fucking kick in with our super Norteño powers and handle our business. But it wasn't to be. It was two white boys that were actually, one was fucking getting off on the other one with weaponry. And all we could do was sit back, relax, let the rhymes tax, maintain and seize while the doubly max, and handle our business by watching and seeing what was going on around. Of course, a couple more white boys jumped up that were part of their little squad, and they handled their business on this one individual. And it was pretty treacherous. It was pretty vicious. And this was my first time ever seeing something like this happen in the chow. Sasuke motherfuckers was beating people with chicken bones and all kinds of shit. Oh my, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not putting tapatio or hot sauce on it. I'm just keeping it really the real deal Holyfield with two ears. Motherfuckers were handling their business. These white boys were getting off. So that was my first time ever seeing something like that crack off in the chow hall. Of course, what they did was they maced motherfuckers. That fucked our whole food up. Needless to say, I didn't eat my salad that day. And we went back to our cells and we were starving like Marvin. And me and the homeboy split one sopa and thought we had it our way like Burger King. But in fact, we were starving like Marvin, the Martian. So anyways, the next day, everything was back to normal program. The whites went on a lightweight little lockdown for a couple of weeks, and then everything got situated. That individual that got beat up, he got took to the Oyo, which is K, Wing, and Tracy for anyone that knows. And so did those individuals that placated him, and that was that. Now, the next incident I seen in the chow hall was actually in Susanville prison, right? On Laston Yard, which is a 3-yard. And this happened between the others and the blacks, right? And what had happened that particular day was this black vato tried to bust back in line to get an extra tray, which is all fine and dandy, man. A lot of vatos do that, man. They'll eat real quick. So let's get, boom, this bomb is a burger. They'll smack it back one time for their mind, and then they'll run back to get in line. Now, what had happened was, ain't no problems with that, man, to each their own. Of course, we didn't get down like that, man. We were, we were on point, man. Our awareness was up. This was a very highly active yard. It was a 3-yard, but at this time, motherfuckers was barely getting acclimated to this yard. It had just flipped for the Norteños, so we're on point. We're on our toes, watching everything around us. We're still getting acclimated to this particular yard. So when this vato jumps up real quick to run, everyone kind of jumps back like, damn, what's this dude doing? We didn't know if he was taking flight on someone or if, something happened. So his mouth was burning and shit was too spicy. We couldn't call it like an alcoholic. We just know this Africano jumped up quick and started running towards the linea. So he runs, and what happened was he ran in front of another. It was an Asian guy, and the Asian guy didn't like that this vato was cutting in front of him. Okay, it had nothing to do with this guy getting an extra tray or he thought this guy posed a potential threat to him. Nothing like that. He just didn't like the fact that this guy actually jumped in front of him and was disrespectful about it. Instead of saying, hey, my brother, can I get in? He just wiggled in and kind of like bumped into him like, hey, man, I got this, right? So I'm trying to get this burger one time. Double up, right? And this chinito, this pensan la tira, this Asian, took flight on him, right? He immediately took flight on him, and it was a lightweight melee. What happened was a lot of the Africanos, and he was a Crip at this time, they all jumped up. A lot of the Sangres backed up because they didn't want to get involved. And these Asians, there wasn't very many of them, and a couple Polynesian brothers, man, decided that for no other reason, they should activate like a motherfucker. And they handled their business, and it was a little melee. Now, of course, the plackers came. They were snatching people up, dubbing them on the ground, macing people. They did actually fucking shoot some fucking, what are they, the rubber bullets in there. They were bouncing everywhere. So I was on the ground eating my burger. The motherfucker was bomb, right? I wasn't giving that up for nothing. Macy todo, oh my. I was burning, but hey, at the end of the day, it was that or nothing. And that was the second time that I see something happen in the chow hall. Okay? Now, the last time that I actually, with my own 2 eyes, seen something happen in the chow hall was I seen another white boy on white boy action. So again, I ain't talking weird shit, right? I'm talking about gangster shit. And it was actually a removal. Okay, and this removal was probably one of the most vicious removals I ever laid eyes on. And I'm not going to say where this happened at because I'm not trying to give too many clues into what happened that day, other than tell you a quick story. And I will say that it was vicious, right? So these vatos were fucking eating, okay? And there's 4 to a table. And the way that this prison, the makeup of this prison was you didn't get to pick who you sat with. You just lined up, and how that line went, they would send guys over here, guys over there, guys over here. Man, the placas pretty much dictated where you sat, Of course, this is just the way that this place was ran. But this particular fucking table had a whole bunch of hardcore white boys. And when I mean hardcore woods, I mean motherfuckers that you knew were somebody. Swastikas on the face, SWPs all over their eyebrows. Like, these were the real ones. These were the ones you could tell they didn't play. They were about their business. Their wiggle was real. They were pretty steady on what they were doing. And you could just distinct the fucking dudes that are just in their fucking sex playing and being weird to the ones that are not. The ones that are really about their business and down for that particular cause. So anyways, these vatos are at a table and they're huddled together. Now, my awareness wasn't up to where I was watching everything that was going in their mouth or what was coming out of their mouth. I wasn't tripping, man. I was on my oatmeal like a motherfucker. I was trying to get mine. And what happened was all of a sudden one of the white boys stands up. Now, I'm thinking he's just going to take his tray, put it in the fucking tray slot. You know what I mean? They're washing dishes back there and do it pushing. Probably get searched on the way out and get back to his compa, his building. But that wasn't to be the case. This vato actually got up, and there was another gavacho that was actually across from him, sitting catty corner to him, minding his own business. And this vato actually got up, walked up to him, grabbed his head, sasas, got him one time for his mentality, and then just kept on pushing. Took his tray, dropped it off, and did it wiggling. This vato was slumped. Everyone got up at one time. The blackers were like, hey, what's going on here, right? And I was like, I just want to go to my building, right? They kept us all in there. Now, it was a cold situation because they needed to investigate, so they didn't let anyone go back to the buildings. They shut the yard down. Everybody that was outside that didn't see it, that was actually walking to their buildings, they got put in the dirt for several hours, and we were stuck in that chow hall and didn't even get fucking seconds. That was the cool part about it. But we got stuck in that chow hall, and while they did their proper investigation, of course, they asked questions to everyone. Nobody gave them no answers, because at that particular time, motherfuckers wasn't giving up nada, right? Fuck you. You got to do overtime, period, plain and simple. And eventually, man, they figured it out. That was a white-on-white crime, man. And they let everyone go back to their buildings. And that was that. The white boys went on lockdown for about a week. And then next thing you know, they're back out on the yard, smiling, styling, and profiling. Woo! Like Ric Flair. That's what it was, man. The Four Horsemen were back at it again. But these are some of the things that happen in prison in the chow hall. Now it goes down. I've heard other YouTubers, other people that were in prison talk about melees and riots and shit that kicked off in the chow hall. And it does go down. It definitely goes down, man. In prison, it could go down anywhere. It could go down in the chow hall. It could go down on yard. Now, everyone knows that's been locked up, man. Usually when a removal happens, it's going to happen anywhere you can get your hands on that motherfucker as quick as you can. But for the most part, it usually happens on yard recall. Vatos get off on yard recall because they're trying to enjoy that sun. They're trying to enjoy them weights. They're trying to enjoy, you know, them dip bars, Spence, on no weights. But you know what I'm saying. Them sandbags, water bags, whatever they got. They're trying to get their little workout on and enjoy the fresh air before they go on lockdown. So usually the fucking, the removals are going to happen. And that's usually what it is, removals. Because I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know about other states, man. I can be real, knowing that California politics are a lot different from every other state. And in California, man, what they say goes, motherfucker, that's going to go, period, plain and simple. You don't got no ifs, ands, or buts. But what? Just get that up your butt. You know what I mean? That's all you get, and that's what you got. So you're going to adhere to someone, and you're going to mind someone, and that's just the rules and regulations and the policies of every different group faction, you know? So vatos in the California prisons, usually you're not going to see one-on-ones. You're not going to see fucking different group segments getting into it, fighting. That's very rare if someone steps on someone's shoes and disrespects them, and then it kicks off. But you're not going to see a one-on-one, at least not within different group factions. You might see the same group faction, like mainly specifically the Africanos will get off and have a one-on-one with each other. That's the way they get down, man. If they're mad, you know, they disrespected each other's set, or they personally got a beef and don't like each other, then you'll see that one group segment usually have a one-on-one. They condone that. But as far as like the Norteños and Sureños, I never once seen a one-on-one. Of course, in the Norteño plight, there was no red on red, so you're not getting off with the homeboys, especially in public. We keep all our shit way on the cuts, right? And the Sureños likewise, man. They're of like-mindedness. They're not doing that. If they're going to get it, they're really going to get it in a real way. That's just it. So usually if it's one jump, all jump, everyone's going to get off. But it could go down everywhere. I've seen it go down in the buildings constantly. I've seen vatos get thrown off the tiers. Yes, indeed. I wrote graffiti. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I'm not going to say where I've seen it at, but I've seen it, right? And I've seen vatos get hit in fucking program offices. I've seen vatos coming out of program offices getting whacked. I've seen vatos get hit, you know, in fucking the infirmary, on their way to sick call, pill lines, everything. This is just part of prison. Like I said, motherfuckers are going to get off where they're mad at, and they're going to get off where they get that chance. You might be in a different building from your target and not ever get to see that motherfucker. So when you get to see him, stop. Hammer time. Orale, you know what I mean? You can't touch this. You're going to go ahead and handle your business and do what you do. And that's just part of prison life. That's prison 101. You know, you get off where you get that opportunity. But for the most part, I've very, very rarely heard of or seen people getting off in the chow hall. Now, like I said, in other states, I'm sure they do it different. They wiggle differently. But it's a form of disrespect to get off in the chow hall unless it's a planned movement. Unless it's a planned movida by your faction and it's like, hey, this is when we have the opportunity. This is where we have action to get them all in one spot. Let's put the motherfucking Mac down one time for their minds. And it's on and cracking, menudo. But for the most part, it's a form of disrespect to disrupt a man while he's eating. You know, you got to have some type of respect in certain parts of prison. You know, everyone know, like a jailhouse thief, that ain't going to fly, man. That ain't going to happen. Motherfucker's going to get dealt with by his own people quite swiftly. It's just something that's not adhered to and something that's looked and frowned upon and looked down on. And the same thing goes with causing chaos, man, when another man's eating. Wait till that motherfucker eats that tater tot before you fucking go ahead and mash his potato. You feel me? That's just how it be like sometimes. But there are certain cases and certain times when it just must go down and you can't prevent it. Now, of course, different group factions are going to feel a certain way. They're going to be like, damn, man, Sasuke, they knew. These motherfuckers knew it was SOS, Holmes. And instead of asking for some type of help, they went ahead and got off. They're going to feel bad, but at the end of the day, man, it's all business, it's all politics, it's all prison, and it goes down when it goes down. Bang, motherfucking bang, bang. That's just what it is. Okay, I'm not here to condone it. I'm just telling true stories by a true motherfucker that really lived it. I'm saying it happens. Do I think it's righteous? Do I think hurting another man over a cold papa is cool? Charlie, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not in any position to have one say one way or another. I'm just telling you things that I've seen and things that I've lived through. Now, I myself have never got off in the chow hall. You know, there never was a time where we had to. It just never happened. We didn't do removals in the chow hall. Charlie Holmes, we'll wait till you hit that yada that one time for your mind so that way we make sure we can really get it in. And that's what it was. But I'm not saying every other group segment or every other group faction wasn't really about their shit, man. It's just like I said, the time deemed itself, that particular time was nice, and orale, it got cold that night. And that's what it is. Anyways, with that being said, man, these are just some of the things that happen in prison. Some chow hall stories, because yes, it does go down. So I don't even like this, but what? Yeah, the air's blowing, Sasuke, what is this? Fried eggs con un fucking meat? I can't, mystery meat? Fuck, you know what, Sasuke? I'm taking flight on the next fucking guy that comes through. Sas! Nah, that never happened. That would be make-believe and putting tapatio on it. I've never seen that happen. You know what I mean? If the fucking shit is cat food that they served you, Sasuke, you either eat it or delete it. And that's just what it is. Anyways, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving and going out there and getting it for your familia. Remember, no one else is going to do it for you. The unity is real if you really want it. If you don't, that's understandable too, man. You're entitled to live your life the way you want to. If you ever find yourself in that particular situation where you're actually incarcerated and you have to hit a chow hall, 9 times out of 10, man, it's not going to go down. So enjoy your fucking oatmeal. Throw a little peanut butter in it and whip it and then dip it. You already know what it is. Then tip it. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you like this. If you don't like this video, it's okay to hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what it is. The gun, bang, bang. And in that fashion, it's a cookie situation. Bang, bang.